welcome back to the lounge. This is Hoops Lounge, where we discuss hoops because, of course, it's a lounge where, we have gentlemen like ourselves talking basketball, all things basketball. As Mark Griffin once said, this is basketball, and it's where basketball is the official language. So I think I said basketball about like 6 times. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. I am your host, Ryan Antonio Henry, joined, of course, by my co-host, Mark Griffin. We have Eric Fawcett, contributor to Press Basketball, and of course, joining us today, Daniel Rowell. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah, Daniel. Yeah, you got it.
Daniel Rowell. Thank you. Perfect. And of course, again, we're just going to get right into this. I'm a little bit flustered. Actually, frustrated is the correct word, with last night's performance. Not exactly with Anthony Davis, who just scored 95 points in the first 2 games of the season. But ladies and gentlemen, what I'm more pissed off about is the fact that in both those games, the New Orleans Pelicans lost. They lost. They just blew 2 amazing performances from Anthony Davis. And my beef with this is that where's the help? At what point does Anthony Davis consider, I know this is a very small sample size here, but what point does Anthony Davis consider leaving this team? Because he has absolutely no help. I'm going to start here with Eric. Can you provide me any insight? When does Anthony Davis consider possibly asking for a trade out of this city?
As soon as possible. It's a shame. Years of poor drafting has just left this team depleted of talent. There's just been too many swings and misses in the draft from 2007 on. And honestly, I think that they maybe didn't take the best pick with Buddy Hield this year. So it's really tough to acquire talent in the league when you don't draft well. And they're not going to hook any free agents. And if you want to play a fun game with yourself, try to say, who's the second best player on the Pelicans? Because it's really tough, especially when Drew Holiday and Tyreek Evans are out of the lineup like last night. So I would say he's probably having discussions with his agent now, and maybe at least looking to that free agency window.
Daniel, do you think we're jumping the gun here? 2 games in, but when you look at the stats, the line that he's put up, first player since Michael Jordan to score more than 90 points, and don't even get me started on the rebounds and the assists and the blocks. But Daniel, what do you say? Are we jumping the gun here, or should he be looking for a way out?
I mean, I think it's jumping the gun a little bit. If I'm Anthony Davis, I'm pretty happy with the contract that I have and that I've pretty much cemented myself as like the best player in New Orleans. And I think it's tough that there's no number 2, but I think a lot of the problems in New Orleans right now is just that the offense is working through Davis and no one else. And I would be more so pressuring the team to get a second option that could work with me. I think Buddy Hield's a good option. I actually disagree. I think he is a decent draft pick. I think he's going to be pretty good. He just needs a little bit of time. So if I'm Anthony Davis, I'm getting my stat line. I'm trying to get into the MVP conversation. But I think I want to at least give 1, maybe 2 more years before I really am starting to try and go anywhere else. I mean, I think if you look at what the conversation around Kevin Durant has been this past year after he moved to Golden State, or you look at the way that LeBron was treated when he went to Miami, like moving to another city is pretty bad. Now, granted, I think the Pelicans have did they even win a game against Golden State last year? Or I guess 2 years ago? But so they don't quite have that same kind of loyal fan base, like you're abandoning us kind of dialogue. But I do think Davis still needs to give 2 years.
And Mark, just real quick, what could they possibly do? Do you feel he needs to possibly take maybe like a LeBron James type role and just kind of command the team in terms of front office, where he could suggest bringing some guys that he wants to play in?
There was this tweet I saw last night from Network. It said something along the lines of, it's like Brow is the New York City superintendent of a high-rise apartment building from like pre-World War II, where it's falling apart and he's never going to be able to take a vacation ever in his life.
Oh, no.
I feel for this man. He's got God. Lance Stevenson on his side. You don't want Lance Stevenson on his side.
Nobody.
I feel bad for Alvin Gentry. I feel bad for the scenario. In a weird way, it reminds me of what Pistol Pete went through 40 years ago in the same city. Yep. Get out of town. It's going to take a while for him to leave. He's got the huge contract. Also, injuries. He's had so many injuries in his career. I'm doing this every single night. I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. And real quick, Eric, barring injury, we don't really see MVPs on losing teams, but do you feel, let's say, again, hold knock on wood here, does he have a case for MVP with this kind of team?
I definitely think so, and I think a lot of voters will sympathize with him in the same way that Mark sympathized with him. If you're going to be starting Etwan Moore and Lance Stevenson's your second best option, and he's putting up 45, not that he's going to average that many points, but if he averages that kind of stat line, I think people will be sympathetic. And the other angle to look at is, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant might be splitting votes. Voter fatigue might keep like a LeBron from maybe getting votes. So I think if you even look at it from that angle, there might be votes to have. So I think he's definitely right there in the mix.
All right, and Daniel, in terms of MVP case, again, small sample size, but we know Davis is capable, when not injured, to put up numbers like this on a regular basis. Do you feel that he has a case for MVP, even with this team?
Yeah, I mean, he, on his opening night, was one block away from 50, 10, 5, 5, 5.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And I don't know if that has it happened before. I have to.
I don't think so.
Right? That's so we're talking about unprecedented things. I think the other person we have to look out for is someone like Russell Westbrook, who also is on not that great of a team, but they won the past 2 games that were close games. So I don't know. I think in the end, though, the way that Davis plays and like the fact that he has this kind of coming off an injury season, I think a lot of the voters might read into that, and that gives him a chance. I would put him maybe in the top 4. It's really tough to put him in the top 3 when we're talking about LeBron, Steph, and Durant, who all have well earned their Hall of Fame votes so far. So,
and just to close this off, I know we can sit here all day and complain about his teammates. To be honest, I can't. I looked through that roster and I couldn't name you like the 5 best players on that team. I just want, real quick, a scenario where they look for a trade. Who would you like to see paired up with Anthony Davis to fix this situation in New Orleans? Mark?
Top of my head, Ricky Rubio would be fun. I would like that. I'd like that.
Yeah, that's not bad either. Eric, any possible teammates you'd like to see paired up with Davis in order to help give him some help with this team?
Yeah, I mean, the problem is they've been like, we have this big man in the middle, so let's surround him with spot up shooters. And that's all right logic, but he needs playmakers like Rubio. So yeah, I'd be looking at what kind of 2 guards or point guards, traditional point guards like Ricky Rubio that can really create off the dribble. But I off the top of my head, I'm not sure who I think is available. But yeah, Ricky Rubio with Chris Dunn coming in, he might be on the block. So that's a great insight there, Mark.
All right, and Daniel, final say?
This is not a trade that's going to happen, but I kind of like the thought of John Wall playing with Anthony Davis.
Love it.
Wow.
Let's talk about like another great point guard. Yeah, they're Kentucky guys, and I think they're both pretty unhappy with their situations right now. So
I think that.
That'd be fun.
They're both
wasting good stuff.
Wasting a lot of talent on teams that are nowhere near contention. So I think they're going to be thinking about that. But ladies and gentlemen, join the conversation. You can hashtag it Take the Court, hashtag it Press Basketball, and of course hashtag Hoops Lounge. Let us know, do you feel Anthony Davis should find his way out of this death trap that is New Orleans and possibly find better pastures? And of course you can put in your trade requests and demands. Be the GM for once. I'd like to thank you guys all for joining us. And again, take the court with Press Basketball on PressBasketball.com.